from the team.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I made the decision. I'll never forget. I sit in my office at home at night, and I start calling my buddies, and I was like, I got to start a basketball team. As for, second, third, and fourth graders, somebody want to play, let me know, because I knew right away I was going to put my son at the point guard position on that team, and I didn't care who else came and who else tried out. I knew he was going to be at the point guard because I knew I did not want him to be 6'6" and not be able to dribble like myself when I had opportunities. It was too late to prepare for them. I wanted him and all of my kids to be prepared for the opportunity whenever it presented itself. And he just happened to grow to 6'8" guy that can handle the ball and get to the hole and see the floor. And, he's still working on his jumper. He's going to put a lot of time in that after the season. I think he's in a pretty good position.
And it's funny that you talked about that. This is why we have you on. You're giving us some juicy information. Amir was playing point. You were trying to get Amir to play point guard in fourth grade. And now all of a sudden he makes the switch to this year to point guard. And I want to talk about that. With the departure of Nate Mason last year, and Nate was great for the Gophers. Coach Pitino wanted Amir to make that transition to point guard. Now, as a former player perspective, what are things that you like what you're seeing from your son with this transition? Because look, it's hard. I mean, Amir was a 3, his freshman year and his sophomore year.
Yeah.
What are some things that you like that you're seeing from him, and areas you want to see your son improve on at that point guard position?
So, Amir has played the point for a lot of years in his youth on the teams that I coached with him, and then he was really blessed to play for his high school coach, Kenny Novak. And he is an awesome coach, and he allowed Amir to basically play multiple positions, including the point guard in high school. So I've seen Amir at that position for a long time. Now, is it Amir's natural true position? I would think not. I think Amir is probably a positionless player that can play the 1, 2, and the 3.
Which is huge now in the game.
It is huge in the game. I think Amir will prefer to play a wing so he can get out on the break. But he has settled in and played the point guard position for the University of Minnesota pretty good. Going into it, you hear all the negative stuff. Oh, he's too tall. The smaller guards are going to steal the ball from him. They're going to put pressure on him. He's not going to be able to guard the smaller guards. But that really hasn't happened.
No.
Which is really a credit to Amir. But yeah, I really like the way Amir. One thing that one of Amir's weaknesses that I think he needs to get stronger at is moving without the ball, and that's probably from playing point guard a lot in his youth. But he needs to learn to move better without the ball. So this year, now that the ball is in his hands, although it does take some opportunities away from a scoring perspective, but it gets him involved early, and he's kind of a player he's a rhythm player. He needs to get involved early.
Yep.
And often to stay consistent throughout the game. So I think that position has helped him with that part of his game. Now, one thing Amir has to continue to work on is being consistent with his jump shot.
And he is a different player. If he is, like tonight against Purdue, if he establishes jump shot early, I'm expecting a huge game from him, because then they got to play him on the perimeter and he can drive the lane.
Yes. And basketball is probably, this, you play 85% mental and 15% physical at most levels. You get the superb athletes, right? That those once in a generational guys that we see, come through from time to time.
Yep.
You're not going to match those guys on the court, physically. But, from a mental perspective, you can't control the mental part. And I think Amir went into a little slump this year for a couple games with his shooting. I think he's really back now. He shot really well against Northwestern. He works really hard. He shoots before practice or either after practice. So he works really hard, but sometimes you can work hard and the success is delayed. So I just conversate with him all the time. Look, control what you can control, do your very best, and if you do your best, can't worry about anything. You can't worry about who likes you. You can't worry about who don't like you. You can't worry about what they say in the paper. You can't worry about why scouts are showing up, why scouts aren't showing up. You can't. Just go play.
Yep.
If you play and it's meant to be, if it's meant to happen for you, if you play, it'll happen. If it's not meant to happen, it won't happen. Now, you can control some of that with how hard you work. And he's been consistent with that throughout his entire young career. So that's something that I'm proud of. But when he's hitting that jump shot, he is a different player.
100%. And great stuff from you. We're with Richard Coffey again. I wanted to, and I had a couple. It's funny. I'm starting to get, Will Greer. I had his dad on. Will Greer's at the quarterback of West Virginia. He's going to be in the draft. And I asked his father the same question I'm going to ask you. Was there a moment with Amir during his childhood or middle school in a game, a practice, or a camp where you knew he was different, or where you knew, okay, this kid's special?
I mean, honestly, I knew from my first sign of that was Amir. We bought Amir a bike, and it had the training wheels on it. And I think Amir was maybe 1.5. And he was riding his bike. First of all, Amir walked at 7 months.
Wow.
So which is really early.
Yeah.
And he was riding a bike with training wheels at like 1.5 years. And then one day, just for the heck of it, I took the training wheels off, and he was probably, he wasn't close to being 2, and he started riding the bike without his training wheels.
Oh my goodness!
This little cat got some hand-eye coordination, right? So, and then I would watch him and his brothers and sisters just play in the backyard, and they're doing stuff on the monkey bars and the swing set in the backyard that I was terrified about them doing, but they were doing it and being successful at it. And I was like, man, these are 3 athletic kids. So what do I have? What can I give them as a father that can help them build a legacy for their life? And the one thing that I had, I was a basketball guy, and so I started training my oldest daughter and Amir in basketball. Nia, my daughter that actually ended up getting drafted in the WNBA, she didn't start right away because she didn't want to.
Really?
She ran track. Yeah, she ran track. She ran it really well. She has, I think, 4 or 5 gold medals in track from the Junior Olympics in the 100, 200, and 400. And so she started basketball late, and then one day she said she felt like she was getting left out because the 3 of us would go to the gym and she would stay at home. So she started coming to the gym, and then she started playing, and man, her tenacity was just amazing. So, but I pushed them, no doubt about it. I did. I pushed them, but they were dedicated to it, and they wanted to play, which was the most important thing. They wanted to play, and I think for all 3 of them as kids, when you're a child and you have success at doing anything, it makes you feel really good.
Right.
So they saw that they were having some success at it, and people were, patting them on the back and congratulating them. So they got more into it. And then, I saw an opportunity a little later when they were still young, that maybe we can turn this thing into some free school for them.
Yeah.
As expensive as college is, it's nice to graduate college with no student loans. So, and we were able, they were able to work hard enough that all 3 of them got D1 basketball scholarships, and so far my 2 girls have both played pro ball, and it's been fun.
That's awesome. That is unbelievable. Great stuff here from Richard Coffey. 2 more left here, and we'll let you go. Yep. It is senior night tonight versus Purdue, and I want to talk about 2 particular seniors, Jordan Murphy and Dupree McBrayer. Talk about them a little. What can you say about what they've done and their impact on this program?
Well, first of all, I'm going to start with Dupree because he's been through so much this year.
So much. With
the passing of his mother. And my father passed when I was a sophomore at the University of Minnesota. So I kind of understand why he is going through it. And my father passed during basketball season as well. And you're just in a cloud for such a long time. And for him to step on that court and be so dedicated to his team and his teammates, and be so dedicated to the University of Minnesota to continue to push through and fight through all of his emotions. and everything that he's going through, which he's going through. People don't understand, when you have a death in the family, everybody pats you on the back for a couple of weeks and then they move on with their lives.
Right.
But it doesn't happen that quick for the individual that's actually going through it. But he's just been a warrior. He's been an absolute warrior for this team this year. And it's just amazing how the type of person that he is. I told my kids growing up all the time, it doesn't really matter who you are during good times, because everybody can be a good person when things are going well.
Right.
Who you're going to be and how are you going to be when things aren't going your way. And he has really shown his character this year when he's had some tough times in his life, and losing a mother is a tough thing, and he's been amazing. Jordan Murphy, Jordan, I think eventually his jersey is going to be in the Raptors of the University of Minnesota. I think he's all-time leading rebounder, third leading rebounder, or in the Big Ten history. I think second or third. And continuing to break records. He plays extremely hard. He's extremely consistent. I mean, if Jordan was 6'8", 6'9", he'd be a first-round draft pick, probably be a lottery pick. With how much tenacity he has.
Very similar attributes physically with you and Jordan, same height and same position.
Very similar. I think he probably, his legs are probably a little stronger than mine were back in the day. But very, very similar. But he's been amazing. I mean, to have a career that he has had, and to be able to accomplish the things that he has accomplished in a 4-year time period is absolutely amazing. I think his name's going to go up in the Raptors at the University of Minnesota, but not until after the University of Minnesota put Willie Burton's jersey in the Raptors. Willie Burton played with myself, and he was drafted 7th overall in the NBA draft, and he was a phenomenal player. So I think eventually Willie's will go up there. Probably after Willie's, you might get Bobby Jackson's, and then but Jordan definitely belonged in that group.
100%. We'll definitely look for that. All right, last one I want to do. It's a summer day in Minnesota. I know you're waiting for that because I've just heard it's just been brutal. A couple of my family members live in Plymouth, and they just told me it's just a brutal winter this year. You got a nice summer day outside. You've got yourself, Amir, Nia, and Sydney out at the hoop. They're about to play a game of horse, and you're there too. Who's winning and why?
Oh, that's easy. That's an easy pick. Sydney.
Yeah.
Sydney's winning that game all day long. She's out of the three of them, she has always had the best shooting percentage from the field. She has always had the best free throw percentage from the line, and she probably has the strongest hand-eye coordination of all three of them.
Wow.
Yeah, she, Sydney selected the school that she wanted to go to as a freshman in high school, and she chose Marist because there were only 2 programs in the country that had basketball and fashion design, and she wanted to be in fashion.
That's awesome.
So she went to Marist. So, but her hand-eye coordination is better than all of them. Her first step is quicker than all of them. But Nia, her tenacity, I mean, she's just a beast. She plays hard, she works hard, she runs hard, she jumps hard, she fouls hard, she does everything hard. And then Amir is just people come up to me all the time and go, man, if Amir played as hard as you played, back in the day. Well, I tell people, well, Amir's not me.
Right.
Right. Amir's Amir.
Yep.
And they all have different personalities.
He's his own player.
And I want Amir to find out who Amir Coffey is, not try to be what anybody else was. Amir has a great ability to see the floor, make the right play, and make the right decision. I know Amir struggles sometimes with his aggressiveness, but Amir's going to play the right way. Amir's not a kid that's trying to score 30 points. He's just not. Now, if he scores 30, he scores 30, but he's going to try to make the right pass. He's going to make the right play. He's not going to break the play to score his own basket. That's just who he's been his entire